Hello, you're listening to Avril Sorter talking about CCNA wireless. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how a wireless LAN actually operates, and it's really important when you're looking at how to deploy a wireless LAN that you understand fundamentally how you actually connect and send data backwards and forwards. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Service Set Identifier, the SSID. And this is the name given to the wireless LAN to identify it. So for instance, in my home, I simply call it Avril's network. Now on an access point, it's possible to have multiple SSIDs. And so in my home, I have Avril's network, and I also have guest wireless LAN. And so when people come, I can put them on the guest wireless LAN and have different passwords, etc. Now, there's nothing regulated, and there would be nothing to stop me calling my wireless LAN AT&T's network. Now, in a little while, we're going to talk about the beacon, and the beacon is typically transmitted from the access point, and included in that beacon is the SSID, and most people will incorporate the SSID into that beacon and it is broadcasted, but it is possible to stop it being broadcasted, in which case you need to know what the SSID is in order to be able to connect to that network. Now, it's not exactly secure. By hiding the SSID doesn't make your network more secure, because it's possible to sniff over the air and determine the SSID, but it does prevent the casual person finding it. Now, when you connect to an access point, an enterprise access point, you can set up multiple SSIDs. And so I might set one up for engineering, one up for marketing, one for finance. And what those different SSIDs can do is they'll map to different VLANs. And so in this way, I can protect access to different parts of the network, because I can map that VLAN then to connect them to say, okay, you can get to this resource, but you can't get to this resource. Now, one of the things that you must remember when you're deploying your wireless LAN is that if you want your users to roam, between access points, between buildings, etc., then it's very important that you make sure the SSIDs match. Like, you can't move from a network called Avril's network and then go roaming off to Sorter's network. You want to make sure everything's called Avril's network, and then you can set up the roaming to go between them. Now, you have to do a lot more than give it the same SSID to make roaming work, but if you don't make the settings the same, roaming will not work.